Okay, so we have 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. We are waiting on Sean real quick here. So, warrants are at the other end of the table. They'll work their way down through. Everybody have a chance to look over the minutes from the previous meeting, which would be May the 9th, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, your mic on?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. No worries. Is this? Have I just been saying, no, Lance, is it quick claim or quick? Like, just like it's written.
Yep.
Okay. You had, John, you had the opportunity to look over the previous minutes, correct?
I did. I didn't find any corrections.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion. Oop, go ahead, Brenda.
Go ahead. Tom.
I make a motion to accept the prior minute meeting notes as presented.
I'd like to second that, Mr. Chairman.
Motion has been made and seconded. Do we call a vote? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Just accepting the meeting minutes, no corrections. Okay. Instead of specifically, okay. Maybe a board member or. Yep. And if it comes into question, I'm sure, unless it's really, really bothersome, somebody will claim it. All right, warrants are going through. Lance has those. Finances, Barry, you do have a copy. Yeah, okay. Lance handed those out, so if everybody could take a quick minute and look over those. John has asked some questions as he's been looking at them that have been answered. Nothing earth shaking. Just because I'm seeing it on here. Mac, if you could, when we get to roads, can we make sure we discuss roadside mowing? And getting bids. Probably usually done later in the year, but sooner. Just coming back on Boston Post, it could, well, the one, I know BJ had said something, or sorry, Maria had said something about BJ working for a guy that does it. Excellent. Yep, excellent. Sorry, not to have that discussion now, but. Anybody have any questions on finances?
No,
No more questions, Sean?
no, I'm good.
Okay. Right along then. Visitors. Linda, would you like to step up to the mic?
I'm back because I know you'd miss me if I didn't come.
It's always good to have people to come and chat.
Yeah, you go. So what I did is I put some bullets together of basically what's in the request and why we want it for the Historical Society.
For the
I-
benefit of the people just listening in or for the record,
This is
You
for
were
the
discussing
historical,
the ARPA request by the
ARPA
Historical
request.
Society.
for the Historical Society. Yes. And a lot of this information was already in the report, but just listening to some of the questions that were coming across, I got the feeling that some of you hadn't read that report. So this is easy reading. They're little bullets. I think Lance is probably the only one that knows what's gone on with the Historical Society over the years and has been to
She
several of
explained it
them.
using short sentences and pictures for me, so.
And you've been here a long time.
Actually, he was physically there to look
Okay.
and kept tabs on it. And so I'm providing that. And one of the questions was, why we went ahead and did the work when we didn't have all the money. We had pretty much all of the money when we started the project. But because of the delay in getting the structural engineers into the building and out to see the outside, because they didn't have their COVID vaccines, they wanted the snow to melt, all these things that came up. And we didn't see the damage to the building until after the COVID restrictions were lifted so that we could get it back in there for a meeting. And then we said, something's going on, went around and looked, and it's like, this is not only a problem to the building, but it's a safety hazard to anybody being out and around. Last year was an ideal year to do that because we didn't have the fireworks. We didn't have a lot of people out and around the building. And when both engineers came and said that you need to take that upper gable, all that brick off that's bulging, because once you start jacking up that addition, that's going to fall. And that's going to be a safety hazard to whoever's working down below. And that added about the 40,000 because Richie Rye gave us a price for the brickwork, but he says, I'm not a carpenter. I don't do carpentry work. So we were fortunate to get Phil Lumbra to do it for labor and materials. So we didn't have an estimate up front, but he's treated us fair. He's always treated us fair in the past. But that price went up. And
As materials
Richie-
did.
Richie had to use his lift, and it was cheaper for him to be using his lift than it would be for us to rent one and bring it in.
Mhm.
So we did pay an extra for that. So I think you all have a picture of this, of what that building looked like on the outside after the frost damage. It was slipping on the corner. There was a big crack on the back. That brick was loose. Tried to put a barrier around there to keep kids away from it. Fortunately, it didn't come apart and create a problem. Nobody got hurt.
So I guess one of the questions I've been asked is if the town is gonna have to pay for this, then it should have been voted on by the town to repair it, as it's not a town, or if it's a town building.
The building is actually owned by deed to the Historical Society.
Okay,
Probably don't remember way back when. Emily Houston's went around beating on doors and listed the help of Cindy Newitt and a few other folks to get a historical society started.
Okay.
Because the Catholic Church was going to abandon the building and they wanted somebody to take it over. It needed a lot of repairs. They couldn't afford to do it. So it was for $1 that the Historical Society bought that.
okay.
So the society was formed in 1997 and they bought the building in 1998. And then it's been like.
So not town owned.
Hmm?
So it's not owned by
It's
the
not-
town.
It's not town owned, but we are a town organization per se. It serves as a community center for the town. But if somebody wanted to use the building, we would say, you need to pay a fee to It's like the community center in Fairfield. They charge a fee to folks that want to use them.
So there's a historical society. That's who owns it?
That's who owns it.
The building and historical society are a town organization.
And that's why
However,
you
they are
didn't,
not a municipal organization. So they don't fall under the town insurance, for instance.
Right.
or the bylaws where, like Josh said, if we were to do a project of that magnitude, the town would have to vote. We couldn't just spend that money
Of course.
and then put it in our budget afterwards.
It's a moot point since it is not a town building or,
Right.
or a municipal organization.
Right.
Right, and the question that I received was simply, you know, the funds are meant to help the town, so they were kind of wondering why that wasn't put to a vote before it was done. And that was my understanding, is that it wasn't technically owned by the town, it's owned by an entity that is its own municipality
No.
within the town.
It is
Not a
Its own-
municipality
Not a
though.
municipality, its
not a
own,
municipal organization.
okay, it's its own nonprofit organization. within
So-
the town. Okay.
The question is it a nonprofit? Is it an LLC?
It's a 501c3 nonprofit.
Thank you.
Okay. And it was discussed at that town meeting in 2020. We didn't realize we were gonna have this damage, but we know we had a bulge on the east side that we were gonna address.
Right, and that's when you requested
Well,
more that year for,
we didn't request more that year. We said, because somebody spoke up and said, well, are you gonna need more money? Because we could up that, up that. And we said, no, wait, because we didn't have figures and we didn't know what we were dealing with.
Okay.
And do that later. But
later.
town has been very good at, supporting us, helping us. And we try to provide a service to the town and maintain that building and show a little community pride in doing it.
Any other questions?
And I've got a new homework assignment. Read this.
Yes, ma'am.
Slide that right in there with baseball and my 4 jobs. Good,
Thank you.
Someday you'll retire too.
that's right, someday.
So just as a point, I believe what the prior meeting we discussed, Brenda was going to reinstitute the ARPA group who would discuss requests for ARPA funds and then present them to the select board for some. Correct. So this really should, and Linda, I appreciate you coming in and doing it, and I plan to read it anyhow. But this really should be going to the subcommittee and then delivered to the select board by the subcommittee, if deemed to move forward.
Chair, just so we can put it on record, we're going to meet on Wednesday, July 13th. 13th. Yep, where we'll. Yep, we'll
I
take.
thought we were not going that route, that now that the funds have changed, that we were thinking of using it for our own
No,
and
that's
not
incorrect.
getting,
That's incorrect. The administration of the funds actually falls to one individual, that's me, to organize the meetings that the citizens will decide what they want. What we don't have the largesse to do is just spend it willy-nilly, whether it's the town or the citizens. But we do have a mandate, and I don't know if you read the last email that I sent you, where it directed us to be specifically mindful of how we were going to do that. And it actually kind of defined what we need to do now. So it changed only 5 or 6 times since we
so
discussed
it's
that.
changed again?
It has changed several times since
Okay.
that was discussed. Mostly
I didn't
it's
see that
changed in
email.
in the paper. Well, there's several that I sent you, so you'll have to look.
I'll have to look and see if I can find them.
But I want you to read those. And I also want anybody from the select board to come on Wednesday, July 13th, because that's where it'll be discussed. That's where we'll go over all the details and figure out what exactly we want to spend. Also, by then, we should have the second half of the grant in place and in the bank. To get rid of it or give it back by 2026.
Now, just to clarify, the subcommittee is going to set this up so that they present it to the select board. Ultimately, the suggestions of the subcommittee will be listened to by the select board, and the select board will determine what, if anything, the funds will be used for.
I would imagine that to be an up or down vote. So if we have X project for X amount of money, that we take that into consideration, everybody can have that discussion on the 13th of July. We can involve as many people in the town, select board, anybody that wants to come, open meeting. We'll present that to the select board for a yep or a nope.
And Brenda, who's a part of the subcommittee right now?
Want it for everybody in the town. Meeting. So we'll get it out printed in all of the usual social media spots, a newspaper and up at the library, and then everybody can decide to come. Hopefully.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Any others and visitors? This may be the appropriate time to. Yes, yeah, you did have a question on the finance part.
I'd like to backtrack to the financial report. Two things, just to note that heating fuel for the South Stations or
Yes.
this garage is, because of pricing of the fuel itself, is $1,700 over budget already.
Mac, are we on an automatic delivery, so they just keep showing up? Okay, so because I
There's
didn't
nothing we
think
can
we
do
were,
about it. I'm just making note of it.
well, I'm
That we're
figuring,
gonna have to address that another year because it's gonna get worse.
I was just figuring they showed up at the end of the year, topped off the tank.
Next thing is
I should've
truck payment
canceled that
is
one.
showed as a debit, a deficit. It's under the wrong account. We no longer have a truck payment
Right,
account. That should be under road work.
right.
Yeah.
There is for 55,832. and change.
That was it.
Excellent.
Last meeting, Mac, you said we had a little bit of an underrun last year, so we should be okay as long as it doesn't get too crazy, correct? Okay. That was a yes from Mac. I know he doesn't have a. I wouldn't say a surplus. I'd say that I don't. Yes. I have this letter. I think this is the correct spot for it, or should it go under board business? I can go either, really. You want to give us a report on the roads, Mac, first, and then we can go over this? The way you want it?
Yeah. Well, I
Didn't want to give it to John. I understand. It's okay. I hope he has his permit. That
Oh, yeah, I'm
Wheeler,
sure he
the
does.
Wheeler, yeah.
probably not supposed to be on that road anyway, right?
you see this one, Linda? This email from Brenda on that? Did you get sent this
Got
email?
awarded grant for the municipal invoicing road inventory. We got that grant or something. 200. She can't hear you.
Yeah, these guys are talking.
We need like a meeting here. Over here. Let's do it this way. Along with the paving grant, along with the grant for the hydro seeder, which you saw the bill in there.
I haven't got I haven't got the warrants yet. Nope.
It's in the new equipment fund.
And
Coming out of
we got the approval for, how's that gonna work?
It's gonna be 6 to 8 weeks before it get here.
Right?
They ordered it when I first inquired about it, even though they didn't,
Yep.
but they ordered 3 of them. So when I spoke with him, I said, he told me the price, which was just under $8,000, $990.40, which was a little bit more than they were talking, but, so I said, before I order it, I said, I gotta talk to Bethany. So I called Bethany. Bethany said, well, let me talk to the uppers and see what's going on. Bethany called me right back and said, they told me as long as you get a invoice and pay it before June, I think the date was 30th. So basically pay for it ahead of time. That way you have the invoice saying that you paid for it. Doesn't have a serial number on it, doesn't have anything else. But they said it, when they applied for the, I guess I'll call it, they said it was good till August. So basically we got till August to really wrap things up, put it on a trailer, get the
Take-
picture of it
Take a picture of it working.
working.
Yep.
So that was,
Okay.
but that is on order and,
I just want to make sure we don't get left high and dry on that one.
oh, no, absolutely. not.
yep.
No, it's, rental is.
Working the best they can.
Are they still paying?
80, I believe.
Yeah, it's on a percentage.
I
not a-
believe so.
Okay.
Came out to
It
like
was
7,200, I thought, right?
Originally it was
7,500.
75 that they were pitching in out of. Said it was 75, yeah.
It was total of
Said
75.
total of 75, yeah. So
Okay.
It went up some, of
Went
course.
up, yeah. Everything's gone up. Yep. Oh, it's good.
FEMA. I gotta sign the thing off on project 693 or whatever it is. And Paul sent me a thing saying it's all good. Now it's gone to the monetary people that 693 has. So that one's out of environmental. The other 2 apparently are still in environmental. Sent Paul a thing today, Tyler a thing today about the guardrails on Waterville. And Tyler thinks he's a little confused because he's thinking it's down there, and so he sent him another letter trying to clarify things as to where what is. And so hopefully that's one letter away from being the same place as the other.
They keep seeing billing for projects other than FEMA on our road warrants,
Mhm.
and they keep trying to attribute it to FEMA funds. It's been aggravating, to say the least.
Do we need to do a warrant strictly FEMA related?
That's what we've been doing.
Okay.
We've been doing that since,
Well, that's
But
that's
some of
what
the
I
time
thought. One of
sheets-
them was,
Some of the timesheets from before had,
when we were doing the DDD, the damage description.
yep.
You have to give them forced labor accounts, and obviously that includes your weekly stuff, so if it's saying 3 days of FEMA and the girl saw another day over on some other road, she said, well, why we run this road, or why is this road, I mean, it was
Yeah.
clearly not marked. for
yeah,
FEMA.
you almost have to justify taking time out to do your own work.
Right.
All right.
For
Long as
road
we're-
mowing, you want me to
I-
get a price from
I
BJ
think-
and
Yep, and we'll talk, Tammy, if we can put an advertisement out in all of our places so that we know everything's done right. Yeah, speak with Maria
What did we end up with for a budget on that? I'm gonna go for the whole thing. We were gonna do parts of it. Maybe.
Right, we talked about doing half of the roads or maybe a third of the
Thirds.
roads at a time.
Yeah, whatever it was, because we tried to take what she gave us for a rough number that night and I think we figured.
Yep.
a week or-
Anybody have that right quick?
By
Roadside,
memory, it was thirds that we were gonna do.
yeah, I was just curious. Oh, roadside mowing, $4,000.
I was gonna say, I thought we,
Yeah, we were gonna try to do a third of the roads, like pick a, yes,
but we'll still be, what about that piece of equipment we bought? Are we using that first?
yeah.
To
That's the-
clarification, Terry,
That's the-
the thirds would be the second level back away
it'd
from
be
the road.
further, it would be the bigger brush and further away from the road that we can't reach with what we bought.
We'll do it first with ours.
The close stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The grass that comes upside the road every year and then
Right.
this will be knocked back the brush.
This will
or-
be the small trees and stuff that are
Yeah.
starting to encroach on the areas that we can get with the small mower,
Right.
which is what we had discussed back in,
I did get asked about it this weekend.
well, I just came over Boston Post and like from,
Grass likes to grow on that road.
yeah, well,
Last year it was terrible.
the alders and stuff in the ditch line are starting to creep out into the road too, so. I got them nice
Stay in the
wide
middle of the
mirrors on
road,
the
you're okay.
side, so. Yeah, no, I was on my way here, so I was like, well, I better make sure we bring that up and get that rolling, so.
That's good to get. it
Who
going.
is, can I ask who the person is you have that's interested in giving a quote, or is that? No,
Off the top
can't
of my
remember.
head, I can't
Okay,
remember.
no, that's
I got
fine.
it written down at the shop. He called quite a while ago. I called him back 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago and said, we haven't done anything with it yet. I will let you know again when we do it.
Okay.
He was gonna, I told him it's gonna be a bid type thing and.
And,
I believe-
Okay, and
I
you'll-
believe it was Waterville.
Okay. and you'll prioritize
Well,
or
that
pick
might
a
be the guy
section.
that BJ,
Might be the guy that, yeah, BJ works
wow,
with. I don't
what the heck is his name?
know. Do you have roads that are your top priority or a section of Bakersfield? You know, are you thinking like,
Oh, I mean, you got the Post Road and East Bakersfield Road are class 2. So
Okay.
you get more miles or more money per mile on those.
Okay.
There's obviously some roads that, you know, they're all fields like over by Lance's, not the whole road over by Lance's, but there's so much of that that is open field. You wouldn't want them to go there first thing, I wouldn't think. but-
Right.
And you don't want to put him any place where you've got a lot of big trees.
Yep.
Small stuff that he can handle. I mean, you probably have to look at it with the guy to say, can you do those alders on the Post Road, or are we gonna have to knock them down for you?
Okay.
You know, so that's,
yeah, no, I just want to make sure that we have
Yep.
we have a plan, so we're getting the best out of our,
oh, we
But-
always have a plan.
always got a plan. Good, I like to hear it. Any others on roads? Grading going all right?
Everything's going good when the rain helps us.
I have a question. Why? I saw the pump on the back of the truck yesterday.
Mhm.
Is that like nailed down? Like,
Lag bolted, yeah.
okay.
Hard
Well, I
pressed.
can see somebody doing a
hard pressed to get that
5-finger
out there.
discount on that thing, and I was like, oh dear Lord, why are we leaving that out?
No, it's, oh, we got no way to put it in. You have to park it and unhook it and, yeah, no, it's lagged down and. yeah, nobody's- We've had it there for 10 years, whatever we've had it.
Okay,
Nobody's bothered.
You're talking the pump for the chloride.
Yeah.
yeah,
We did get another load of chloride today, and I had talked to Rick Lawrence about another tank that I talked to you guys about, and he actually brought the other tank up today too, or Hawkins did.
Yep.
And he dropped it down there. We haven't set it up yet, but
So
that way
that's-
we'll have the second tank and
That's like no cost to us as long as they keep filling it, that
as
type
long
of
as,
deal.
as long as the contract's signed saying we're gonna take it from them, yeah.
I like that.
I think that's for a certain amount of time, and then after a certain amount of time, it's your tank.
Okay.
The only other question I got is, well, are we doing something with flags? I mean, we talked about it the last time. it
oh,
was gonna be
glad you
way
said
over-
that.
It was gonna be way over budget.
Yeah.
They weren't.
I see there's one down by Grandma Gates's that's
Needs to be
come
taken
off
down.
the pole.
By who?
North end
Uh,
of 108, up by the store.
Gates, by the Gates Farm. There used to be Gates's.
Put up this year.
No, they've Yeah.
Threw it out there.
probably hasn't been. Wonder if it was beyond where they thought they ended.
I mean, the thing is, last year was extremely windy and we lost a lot of the hangers. So if it happened to fall down, the citizen picked it up, put it in their house and didn't know what to do with it, then it must be robbed,
Yeah.
probably threw it out there and said, "Mm,
Yeah, it's like stuck in the ground, but I
Okay.
think it
it's
might be
down by
one of,
Hyla's old house."
yeah, I think it might be one of ours.
Yeah, well, I don't doubt that a bit, because we had a lot of, I mean, if they weren't destroyed, they were missing.
All right.
Do you remember how much over budget we were going to be for that?
We had 30 flags that. We looked at it, and it seemed like it was over $1,000 for. At the. Other places which.
Yeah,
really
didn't we look on Amazon or
I think we,
something?
I think we did that. In fact, I think John did it before he was a member.
Yeah,
We don't have
Yeah.
anything budgeted for flags.
We did, but
think
we
it's
put
on
it into
Memorial
the Memorial Day
mhm.
there was a number
expenses,
and
Okay.
Kathy told me that number
750.
also included the little flags they put in both the cemeteries, plus the big flag out here that got replaced.
Yes,
Month or
page,
two ago.
page 2. No, well, that is, no, I think, yes, that is correct. I don't think Maria was aware of that, so she put a line item, because that's for the big flag that got replaced out here.
Yep.
6355.
Assuming
Um,
somebody from something must take care of ordering the small ones for the cemetery, because we've never done that before.
Yeah, I think that's, I almost think the VFW takes care of
I
those.
thought the Legion.
Or Legion, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but somebody has to contact them. I would assume.
Right, for numbers.
We do end up paying for
Oh, we do?
We're talking,
that. Kathy said.
so you're saying it's gonna be over $1,000 for the flags that we need, and we
Unless we-
budgeted 750.
And we take out whatever-
I make a motion that we pay for it. I feel obligated to put the flags up.
Does that include the hangers, the 1,000?
I believe it did. The ones I've been getting, the hangers are the plastic version, which are fine. but Veterans Day, a couple years of that, and they don't take it. The metal ones that I've seen that I think were on the.
They're on the Amazon site.
I think they were on the site were separate. Something was separate there. if I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Hangers. That's an expense we wouldn't have to incur every
Right,
time.
right.
So I would.
I mean, it's probably gonna be one of those things you get 2 years out of a flag with the way the.
Well, the
weather is.
flags are gonna have to be replaced, but if you can buy decent
The hanger.
holders, then.
Yeah.
Then you offset the cost the following year.
Might be a few, well, there was a few on this end, but when they took down the poles, I think those went with the poles, so. These on this end, I think we're all.
Made a motion.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion, and a second. Lance,
What are we making a motion for?
to extend the budget for flags from 750 to cover the cost of, what did you say, 30 flags?
I believe
30 flags for Main Street.
I was doing any pole that has a light on it.
Okay.
Before, we did not go past, Boulders.
Okay,
Yeah.
same difference.
Yeah,
Yep.
we didn't go past there. There is a couple that we can buy without those. I mean, there's
There's
like out here in
lights
the park, Brian told us once that he was only supposed to have one flag in a,
in a zone.
yeah, and of course that was, that's covered by the big flag, but
Okay.
it always looks good when there's two on that honor roll, I think.
Okay. So the honor roll should have what on it for flags? Would that have our local?
We usually have 2 US flags on there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Standard size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're talking 1,500. We're talking 11, 12 probably.
Probably.
I think that's worth it for the look. We want it to look. good.
How do
Have a
you wanna
motion,
han- how
a
do you wanna
second?
handle it If it doesn't come with the good hangers, should I try to order them off of Amazon somehow?
Yes,
See when they get here?
yep, work with John on that, if you're so willing, sir.
Sure, I'll shoot you. Find the link that I had before. Yeah,
Yes. So we have a motion and a second to upgrade the budget on flags to cover the cost of 30 flags and metal holders, so they hold up. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? There you go. Anything else on the roads?
I have, I had I had Rosalie call me and ask me to come up to her place last week, midweek, about the water runoff. I did send a mild video and a couple pictures without discussion, everyone, so they could see I forgot to include, I don't have your messenger, if you even have messenger. But I just shot, it's the same thing as far as I understand that was seen last September when I wasn't privy to the meeting. She did make several notes and there was the question about the 100-foot between coverts. I said, I don't know, because I honestly don't. I said, go ask the person from the Environmental Protection Agency that you had or the governmental institution. And I said, and we may have that mandate locally in our own municipality. I don't know the 100 feet between coverts. But she did offer to put her own covert in on one of them. It is closer to the hunting camp across the road. That access was one of her last accesses into her field.
But you're talking on your side
Yeah.
that goes to the sugar house.
Well, it's on the other side of the road from me, but yeah, it's in between her and I. And it's the one access that's kind of, it looks like it's dirt. And she had said, she said she had offered it last year to put her own covert in there if need be, to help with the water. Now, I saw the water, I see what she's saying. The water is running off and making a meadow or a small light pond in her grassed area that she has marked off for whatever it is roped off. I said, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I said that I would bring it to the board. I said, I'd send off the pictures and bring it to the board to just revisit the September discussion that was had and warranted at her place last year.
So we had that discussion. We went up there, did a site visit, met with the people from the state. We have all the books and everything that tell us what our regulations are for federal and state regulations. And last I checked, we are within our state and federal regulations. I do not see us changing anything at this point.
Another note, Lance and I were with Bethany looking at a situation where the towns don't take out culverts. Technically, that's a cross section, but I've been informed by FEMA.
Okay.
It's a brook, it's a cross section.
Okay.
But she said, don't take them out, especially if they've been there forever. And
Yes, I would agree.
So could she herself?
Take out a culvert?
On a town road?
Absolutely not.
can't work.
No, significant fines, state, federal. Yeah, big trouble
Who
there.
determines if it needs to be fixed or not? I mean, if
Fixed-
it needs
fixed.
to be,
Fixed is different than removed. A culvert that is collapsed can be fixed. A culvert that water no longer flows through can be fixed. You can,
so what is she thinking? It needs to be bigger?
no, she wants
Or
it,
she thinks it's not working?
she wanted it removed so that all the water would flow down to the culvert that comes out, or is just upgrade from John's driveway.
That makes sense.
All that water that she's complaining about on her pasture down on John's front lawn.
Point of
I don't see it. I don't get it, because I don't
It's-
see how that water
it's-
is gonna end up at John's versus down
Well-
over the hill.
a point of discussion, it's too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The state definitions of grade and distance between culverts don't allow for that one to be removed.
It's laid out. It's black and white. It's right there in their
So she
standards.
wants to remove it, not replace it.
She wants to do two things. She wants to remove one of them, and then another, she wants to add one to go underneath the access area that's by the sugar house.
That's not adding a culvert to the road. That's adding a culvert to a
Runoff on the side.
agricultural access.
So I don't know if we would entertain that, if she would have to get permits, but is that, and I understand through several conversations that some of that is illegal access as it is. So does it have to get, through the zoning and the roadside to get that access approved and then needs to get upgraded, or is this just a?
File all the permits the way it is right now. It is beveled before it reaches the town right away, correct? So it's not an issue. It's just a matter of, but in order for it to be.
And the only other thing she had said to me was, and I heard this before and I know this was discussed, but I'll put it out there because she said it about everything was fine until the road was raised. And then everything went a little crazy on the raising of the road. Now, the only thing I see with it going into her pasture, the only thing I could see that we could do to fix that, and I don't mean us, but she could even is just trench that more so that it gives a drop off and funnels that out. Because right now, it literally, the end of the covert kind of is at the same level as the pasture. So, and I don't think we tend to dig the road up to sink it deeper.
That suggestion was made. Evenly, or the other option is to trench through the pasture field with a drain pipe and have it daylight or open end on the far end of the field. Neither of those are town responsibility.
So like I said, I promised I would bring it up.
Yep, we appreciate that. Thank you, John.
Okay.
All right. Any others on roads?
You all know Dan's situation.
What?
I do.
He had a urinary tract infection. Called in sick. Went down there. They strongly suggested he check into the hospital. They strongly thought it was sepsis, which it ended up being. He spent 2 days in the hospital getting rehydrated, getting antibiotics. They let him go on Saturday and decided to take today because he was supposed to get blood work results in Cambridge or get more blood work done possibly in Cambridge today. I haven't seen him since he did that, but planning on doing that.
Just a question to the board. Should we
boy.
get a, do we require a letter from his doctor approving return to work for that since he was admitted to the hospital? Is that something that we should?
I think,
I don't think you need to because it's not injury,
Okay.
it's illness.
I
And
want to
he's
make
not,
sure that.
I mean, most places, if you're gone 3 days,
Days, yeah.
they ask that a doctor's note be provided. But it sounds like he's only been out 2 days
Well,
for
he was
one
out 2
thing.
days plus today, which would technically make him 3, but I mean, as he put it, you can bring in a hospital. He hasn't seen a doctor per se. He saw the
Okay.
Urgent care.
urgent care and doctors in the hospital. So as far as being over here, I don't think he's seen a doctor yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing with the way he's going about it right now, if he does not feel up to snuff, he will not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
If if he doesn't return tomorrow,
Yeah.
could you ask him for a note from his primary care physician?
But I.
If
what he
he's
told me-
back
what he
tomorrow,
told me this morning, he was planning on being.
and I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt. We just want to make sure that Dan's good to come back before Dan comes back and
Yep.
you don't
No,
hurt
he's
himself
got,
any further.
Wow.
You got 12 days of antibiotics and a whole different, a lot of water,
There you go.
Mm.
hot beer.
I see, I see he's on there. He's probably loving us
Beer
airing this all out
rehydrates
here,
you.
but
We do have a comment. We do
yeah.
have a comment.
Get well soon, Dan. It's under Katie.
Mark D says they're hearing a lot of buzzing and cutouts from the meeting. You want to close your laptop for us? Thank
Not
you.
really.
Oh, here, I have the paper one. Mark D, the problem is we're having electronic equipment sit next to the microphones. Sure. We have electronic equipment sitting next to the microphones and it's causing RF interference. So if you have your stuff on, move it, if you can, move it away from the microphones and that should resolve the issues.
Accurate. Okay, any others on roads? All right. Get well soon, Dan. There we go. All right,
That's not Dan, that's Katie.
do we want to know, same ad we ran last time? Roadside mowing, yep, give us a per mile estimate, or I would say, or a per hour estimate with estimated miles covered per hour.
Yeah.
However. Let's not limit ourselves. Let's see what the quotes come in at.
Work in the budget. Within the
Good
budget.
way to lose a finger right there, boy. Will it matter? My thought is if your price is hourly and you tell me that you can mow 7 miles in an hour, I know that's kind of extreme, but or if you tell me that you can do 2, there's I would say they give us a quote, and if it's worth our effort, we'll let them know.
We've got total of about 50, 60 hours.
Oh, it's 40, 41, 2 and 3 class.
Class
With the
four.
class 4 that we don't go there. But yeah, I mean, there's, and parts of Waterville, top of Waterville, we've never mowed that because nothing grows up there. So when you get to the top, as far as Seth's, yeah. I mean, that needs to be mowed a little further than that, but there are roads that you don't need to mow. And again, farmers fields, you don't need to waste time. You could just hide it and go.
Do you think that the state is going to require us to knock back because of drainage? The class 4s eventually.
Oh, eventually it's possible, but most of those are the same way. There's not a lot growing on them because so growing in the trees.
That may be a year 4 project.
Yeah.
You know, if everything goes the right way, year 1, 2, and 3.
No,
No, 40 tops.
50.
40 is
40
levels
With
1,
the
2, and
class
3.
4, we've got 50 miles.
Right.
But 40 is one way. So if you gotta go both ways, it would be 80.
Yeah.
But like I say, I mean, 2/3 of the post road, you don't need to mow. You know what I mean? Because it's either Jarvis Golf Course.
So
You can,
Tammy,
Between 40 to 60.
if Tammy has to field some questions, we were looking at doing approximately 1/3 of the roads. Technically, that could be up to 24 miles or thereabouts of road, counting doing both sides.
Yeah. this
Right.
is- it's-
describe where they're mowing. The second tier, second pass mowing. Yeah, you're not talking, yeah, you're talking the second,
Yeah.
you're talking the second 8 feet, basically,
On Bush.
roadside mowing.
They know. They know what they're.
But maybe you should probably have our ad from last year. Should be very similar. That's the collective you, right? Not the single. All right, not the single you, just making sure.
Y'all.
Gentleman that purchased the old mower did show up last week and took a,
Excellent.
he had come right after he paid for it, the same day he paid for it. He came and got like the control box and the pins and stuff like that. Said, I'll be back in the spring. So him and his son came up that day and hooked it on.
Wait, well, one last paperweight in the air. Perfect. Big boat.
Big boat.
I would
think he
imagine
was
mow
just-
roadsides.
No,
No.
he made it sound like it was just a trim pasture, you know, like, you know,
Excellent.
where combines and stuff can't get out there.
Yep.
You're just gonna,
All right.
kind of like what Jarvis does with theirs, I guess. They don't have the extended, you know, really extendable, but they got a sidearm that goes out there a ways, and that's what they. Keep the pastures open.
Last chance. Any others on roads? I've said this 4 times. This is it. Going all in and all done. Okay.
Thanks, Mac.
Excellent. Thank you, Mac. New mail. Or mail and review of the mail. Here we go. Subject, unleashed dog. May 9th at approximately 4 PM. A bicyclist was traveling on Route 108 north of Bakersfield when it was chased by an unleashed dog. The residence is located about 1.7 miles north of Bakersfield, house across the road from the Boston Post Road. Appreciate your attention on this matter. Do we have a registered dog at the residence of, this looks to be Mr. Brian Weston's place of residence, if I'm not mistaken? Okay. I didn't believe it. I've stopped there for an ice cream a couple times and I've yet to see one.
Maybe someone had brought the dog with them to buy an ice cream.
That's possible, but I don't believe that would be, Brian's issue. They used to have, yes, yeah. But that, I was gonna say that dog was old 15 years ago and she's not living there. That's correct.
What kind of dog? Or it doesn't say.
It doesn't say. Would you be willing to reach out to Brian and ask him if he has a dog that chased a bicyclist up the road?
I will talk to Mr. Weston
All right.
and see if indeed he does own a dog.
That would be greatly appreciated. Would you like this report?
Yes, please.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Next one here is from Bridget at the St. Albans Messenger. She's hoping all is well. With much construction happening now on the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail in Bakersfield, I'm wondering if it has worked its way into any town discussions on terms of what might this mean for recreation, business, etc. Would a select board member be able to speak about this on the phone next week? Or point me in the direction of an individual or committee who might have some thoughts. This was brought to the agenda, to an agenda, and we discussed it with the local impact, I believe. And it was pretty much determined that it touches such a remote corner of town that it would not have much effect on our local businesses.
That is correct.
That's-
The only access is over.
Lost Nation Road.
Haverlicks.
Yeah. Well,
It's over past Haverlocks, yes, it is. The
Haverlocks.
town does
It
indeed
goes-
own a small parcel of land adjacent to the rail trail there.
It comes from Lumbras and goes right up through just before the bridge that we,
They were not
Oh.
offering,
and then it'll come by Cahill's.
But yeah, as I say, it does come by Cahill's also, yes.
they were not offering funding to build an access there. That would be up to the towns. I did attend a virtual meeting about this. And it would be up to the towns to find a grant to create a parking area or to fund it themselves.
One, the crossing on Whitney Road, is that actually in Bakersfield or is that in Fairfield?
It's in
That is Bakersfield.
Mhm.
As I
Just
said,
just barely,
Bakersfield
right?
Does indeed own a small parcel of property right there.
Okay. No. Yeah, I would agree. Yep. So, does anybody want to reach out to Bridget and tell her that we do not have an opinion? You want to tackle that? Yep. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see here. First Net Authority. Anybody know what this is? Detention Sam Crib. Oh,
Oh, boy.
we don't need that one. Might be. So this would actually, no, this would be transferred. We have somebody who has stepped up and taken that position. The fire department. I don't know. You'd have to look at the minutes from a couple meetings ago. No. Oh, bugger. Hang on a minute.
It's,
Woo-hoo. Careful.
isn't it Land's dad? What's his name? Oh,
Andrew Nichols
Andrew. Yeah.
has agreed to take it. He is the name on the paper.
This belongs to the fire department.
Correct. Yes. This is the emergency management person. I swung in there. It looks here like it was April 12th, Tuesday, April 12th. I swung in there. Talked with the entire fire department. And Andrew Nichols stepped up to the plate and said, absolutely, you can put my name on the paper as the guy, with the assumption that Todd Cosgrove, Matt Hall, and that whole crew would technically be helping. It would not be a one-man operation. He was just willing to have his name signed on the dotted line.
This is communication from First Net Authority to via the emergency management directed toward first responders and their ability to stay connected and communicate efficiently. So this belongs over to the fire department.
We can get that. We'll give that to Tammy to file under take to the fire department. Pass that down through.
Can we have the envelope, please?
The envelope, please. It's award season. All right. Sue, are you still on there?
Huh?
I was asking if Sue was.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So I have a letter from Sue Sonsky. The listers are looking or requesting a 21-day, 3-week extension under Title 32, Section 4342 to complete to finish the 2022 grand listing because of 2 situations. There's some private stuff here, so I'll.
Sue,
write
if you want to speak, you need to unmute on your end.
And Sue has reached out to me twice, once on my personal phone and once on my cell phone. I've just haven't.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the memo is pretty self-explanatory. So we just need some more time. We've been granted this since I've been a lister twice. And the state has no problem with doing this at all. So I just wanted to get us some more time because of the situations among a couple of us. So That's pretty much all I have to say.
Does anybody on the board have any issues with me signing this to be sent off?
Can you explain it again? I'm not following.
I can give you this. I don't feel
Okay.
comfortable reading that.
Oh,
Just,
Okay.
it's, private, but it's private information. Yeah. This is the paper I have to sign that just, it's the request to Jim.
To extend.
Yes.
so does this mean our taxes would be different or no?
Don't believe so.
So you remute it. Go
Can you
ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, no, this has nothing to do with taxes being going up or going down. It's just giving us more time to finish the grand list for 2022.
Did you want a motion, Mr. Chairman? For us to
To make it more official, I believe a motion in a second to. for
I'd
signature.
motion to allow the extension of
The request.
the requested amount of time for completing the grand list from our listers.
I'll second that.
We have a motion in a second. All those in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That down to Tammy also. I was told before the meeting that I need to do a better job of getting all these papers down to Tammy that need to be filed.
Yeah.
Yes, that paper needs to be sent. Yep, Rem. Yes, because that is the official request of an extension for the state.
You.
Yeah, just, yeah, check with her, but I think if it saves us time, just send it out. We also have an email here from Simon. See the last name. And he is asking about our web design services. Let me know if we're interested, share a proposal or sample. Are we interested in updating our web design?
No,
I'm not sure if this one is, I'm not sure if it's legit email or if it's a, yeah.
Answer's going on one.
Take this, it'll make good bait. All right. Next on the agenda is dog issue on the Avenue update.
Yeah, I spoke to the individual last, I think it was Friday, Thursday or Friday. We had a conversation. I expressed that the dogs needed to be licensed by today before the meeting. Unfortunately, we can't see in the book where the license is, but we do see paperwork that shows that at least one of the dogs they came over to take care of because there's paperwork for its rabies shots. So gonna have to talk to Kathy tomorrow, figure out what happened, and go from there. I do know I received a messenger communication from him on Sunday saying that he did get all the dogs their updated rabies shots and vaccines down at Tractor Supply, and that he was going to be in first thing this morning to get them licensed. I don't know what happened in there, but
Excellent. My thought on that is if he is working towards correcting this issue, we do not issue any fines. Does that seem appropriate? Last year, when I dealt with this issue, he was very friendly and took care of the issue right off. And it seems to me like he's trying to do what's right. So thank you for doing that, for correcting what we can.
and I've heard no further reoccurrence of the dogs being loose. So that's the other thing.
Excellent. All right. Next one is the East Bakersfield Culvert project update. Shouldn't be.
I don't have an update.
I was gonna say, there shouldn't be anything there.
I touch base with them. It'll be when their estimated time is to start and finish.
Excellent. External audits. Have we received anything, Tammy? Can I ask who it's from? I agree. Yep, I agree. Keep them sealed until the deadline.
When's the deadline again?
Yes.
Perpetual extension.
Okay.
So Tammy, we have 3 so far? 2 so far? Okay, thank you.
So, yeah. I know Terry, you said you were gonna reach out to KBS and no, that's fine. I just, and I said that I would try to get one to, I forget the name of it, but Parent in Enosburg. Yep. Parent is one of the names of the multiple names on it. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you just. Yeah, we asked her to resend them just the other day. Yep. Subject E, plowing bill. We were looking at that for ARPA. or
No,
not
the
ARPA,
FEMA,
sorry,
FEMA.
There's too many. FEMA, but we won't know anything more on that until we know where we are at the end, correct? Okay. And town hall furnace replacement still on the back burner. Any others? Sorry, I was listening to you. I didn't-
Sorry. I had a phone call yesterday about a dog down by Corey Grattan's. Not sure who owns the dog.
Okay.
But the dog chased his son. He fell off or dropped his bike to run and ran in front of a truck. Luckily, the truck was paying attention, stopped in time.
Right.
Yeah. And then he was calling me because he had just seen a girl get bit by the same dog who was riding, or a lady who was riding her bike.
Okay.
But I don't know who owns the
We don't know
dog.
who owns the dog. Would Corey
That-
doesn't, yeah, I know, I almost
Oh.
called him, but I didn't. Does he know, he has no idea whose dog it is either?
He said it,
Doesn't know where it came from? or
he
comes-
knows where it came from, but he doesn't believe it's their dog.
Okay. Yes, unknown female.
But apparently we got a report from the health officer for someone else getting bit by the same dog on like the 18th, I think she said.
Okay,
So the dog's bit 2 people?
that is a problem dog.
That is a problem dog. I think they only get 2 bites. No, seriously.
Then what?
And then they take a nap.
Fight him back?
No, they take a nap and they don't get up again. That's
Oh.
in other places I've been at, you get like dog bites somebody first time, it's a problem. You get like a citation or a warning. Bites it a second time and you're looking for a new pet.
You don't,
Well, I think that's why we got the report from health officer, right?
Do you have any idea where the dog came from?
so it doesn't actually reside there.
Oh.
It's. Has the dog moved on? Like gone to its, okay. At a neighboring property. I don't know if they're watching the dog, I don't know. Would you? No. No, okay. I hadn't heard any of this.
He
so-
did say a silver lab,
Okay.
I would say,
which I didn't think they owned, so
No,
that
they're
would make
strictly,
sense if they're
they're
sitting.
strictly chocolate lab people.
Yes.
I would say that if they've been charged with watching the dog, then they're responsible for maintaining the safety of the community. They need to lock the dog up or return it or put it in a kennel or something, because if it's out there biting people,
And my question, John, was, is the dog still there?
right,
Has
I
it-
agree.
Has it gone home? So,
I agree.
Terry, would you be willing to
I
make that
did,
call?
I did try to contact him yesterday and today, and no one's called me back.
I'll do that. Okay.
I don't know if they're not around or what the deal is, but I can.
Are
check if-
they on the
might-
same trip that, the ATV trip that the other, the other families on, the rest of the families on?
No,
They're not, they didn't
I
go.
didn't see many of the
You didn't
pictures.
see them in the pictures. Okay. All right, would you be willing to reach
Yeah,
out
I'll
again
keep trying to reach out to them because
And-
they could have just been gone.
and hit us on the message if you get anywhere with that, even
So
if
what
it's.
is the protocol with it? I mean, if it's not their
So if
dog,
it's not their dog, John is correct. They, in watching the dog, have assumed responsibility for that dog. So, I
So
don't
do they
think,
just
however,
have
we
to
could put
prove-
somebody else's dog down under the care of a second individual.
I don't
That'd be a
disagree.
super gray area that,
I honestly don't know. I know that in my scenario, my dog bit a guy once in the town of Bakersfield when we had a dog catcher and or animal control. And I spoke to the individual, and all they told me to do was lock the dog up for 10 days just to make sure, to prove that it didn't, even though I'd had it shot, lock it up for 10 days to make sure it didn't have rabies or anything. And if it died, we would know. It was kind of like the answer I got when my dog bit somebody. So,
even if it's had its rabies shots, you
Yeah.
have to do that?
yeah, because there's something about the rabies shots, and it's interesting enough, and I won't go into great detail, but you know, if you overlap rabies shots, they don't actually add time to it. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So anyhow, I don't know, reading our dog policies or ordinance, what it says. There's nothing really in that ordinance that I read that says how many times a dog has to bite someone before some actions take place in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
okay, so you will follow up with that,
All
Terry.
right, I'll see what I can find with it.
Excellent, thank you. Any others? Nothing?
I have nothing.
Would you entertain a motion to adjourn?
No, John, all John said was he has nothing. I know that confused us, but. So this is the. Okay, so just to reiterate, because Tammy doesn't have a mic, next week is the off week where we need to come in and sign road warrants for pay. And I assume Tammy will send us an email or some sort of reminder. Okay, all right. Excellent. Maybe do your thing.
Now, motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a good night, everybody.
Yes.
Position. What's his name, Ryan?
Well, I'm not really against it. Yeah, I'm running for the seat.
Is he not running?
I don't know yet. There's a Senate seat up for grabs. We lost the